Hello and welcome back to The Score's the Thing. Today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite games, one of the games that I've played the most, Balloon Fight. This is a game that is it falls into a category of things that a lot of my favorite things fall into, where I love it dearly and I cannot tell you why I love it so much. It is a survival type game where you're trying to get through as many waves as you can. The main place that you get points is the bonus levels that are, once you get into the later game, they're worth 44,000 points apiece. So they're very valuable, and the rest of the game, your main task is fighting your way through the increasingly difficult waves, just trying to get to those bonuses to get those scores. It's a game where you can do a lot of AI manipulation, and there's a lot of subtlety to it, which I really enjoy. It's got this slow, methodical, meditative feeling to it that I really enjoy. It's not a flashy game, it's not a tense game even, it's just a game of doing the same things over and over. It loops the first 12 levels, after the first 12 levels, it loops back to level 4. And it just loops the same 9 levels over and over from there on out. And things get faster, things get more difficult. There's a really big difficulty spike around 500,000 points. Which, this game is so consistent that I'm almost always at 540,000 points when I get to that point. And surviving through that more difficult area is the way that you can get really high scores. It doesn't encourage a lot of risk-taking. It doesn't encourage a lot of really daring plays. It encourages safety, just hanging back and looking for the opportunities to get the kills, get through the levels as cleanly and simply as possible. One of the most challenging aspects of the game, and one of the most interesting aspects of the game, is what I call clean starts, which are basically at the start of every level you have an opportunity to knock a few birds off their perches and you won't have to fight them. And on some levels that is extremely important. It can let you take out half or more of the birds on the screen. It makes things much easier to get through. And so getting those clean starts, they're worth a lot fewer points, but they improve your survivability so much that they're always worth going for. So this is a game that doesn't have a lot of the things that I talk about being really important in a really good high score game, but it's a game that, despite that, works really well. It's really enjoyable to play. It's fun, it's really exciting when you get to a PB. One of the things that I talk about when I'm getting really close to my personal best is what I call PB anxiety. It's really intense in these kind of survival games when you start to get toward your PB, because you have this tension of, oh, when's it going to end? When's it going to end? You don't get extends in Balloon Fight. You don't get extra lives. You just have the 3 lives. You do get, if you lose one balloon but not both, you get it replaced at the bonus levels. But there's not a lot of way to build up a stockpile. There's not a lot of way to kind of set yourself up for success. You just have to scrape through. And so when you get to that point where you might be able to get a PB, it just becomes very exciting, very intense. My heart starts pounding, I get butterflies in my stomach, and I think that feeling is the biggest part of what I like about this game, is that excitement. And, I like the rest of the game. I enjoy the game, and I enjoy chasing after that feeling as much as I enjoy having that feeling. And so chasing after scores is... that's one of the things that I really try to get across, is that, getting a new PB feels great, but chasing after a new PB is what's really driving you or driving me at least, and I think is driving a lot of people, is, not the kind of the nebulous future possibility of feeling good, but the feeling of being on the chase. And so this is this slow, grindy game that is like wading through molasses, and just the way this game weighs you down feels really cool. It really feels great when you get better at it and become kind of more able to deal with stuff. And so I think that is the closest I can get to talking about what I love about this game. Is it's like training. I think the closest analogy I can come up with is it's like training with weights on. It really holds you back. It really makes everything difficult. And so just every little triumph feels hard fought in this game. And I think that is a big part of why I love it. It's really solid mechanics too. There's a lot of subtlety to it. There's a lot of kind of quick decisions that you have to make about, how to optimize the points that you are getting in between the bonus levels. Because, they're not as important as the bonus points, but they add up. It's still something that's worth looking at. And so there's a lot of stuff you can figure out, stuff to think about, stuff to try. And it's based on Joust, but it's just very slightly different. And the slight differences end up being enough to make it a very different game. It's much slower. It's much more kind of methodical, precise. Joust is a very fast game. It's much more of an arcade game. And, the lack of extends means that it's a much shorter game than Joust, even though they're both endless survival games. Joust has the constant one-ups, and Balloon Fight is you just get those 3 lives, and you just have to get as many points out of those as you can. So that is Balloon Fight. It is a game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I really recommend checking it out. It's a really enjoyable game. You kind of have to play it to understand why it's special, because it's so difficult to point out any particular thing that's special about it. But I think it's really worth trying, and I recommend you try it. My PB is 850,000 points, and so, I issue you this challenge, see if you can beat my score. And post your own video, and I would love to watch it. Let me know in the comments. Next week we'll be back to doing a free game, so if you don't want to spend any money, you can still check that out. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.